Hey everybody, it's Somni Respiratory Flux, call me Flux for short, or whatever you want to call me. In the last episode, we got here to this large room in the Chozo ruins, where there appear to be some Chozo ghosts to fight. In this episode, we are going to jump down into the Hall of the Elders and take them on. There are Chozo lore in this room. Yeah, I think there's just the one. It can't just be the one. But it appears to be. So yeah, this is where you're really first meant to encounter them. Because you're not really supposed to think about going back up to the Sun Chamber again so soon. But I always like to go there because it's a convenient way of getting to where we're going anyway. Especially if you know that you can open that door again. But that gets cleared up easily enough. On subsequent trips to this room, you will often find Chozo ghosts here as well. They will not always be so easy to get rid of. But let's scan this Chozo lore. More and more our tormented minds turn to the newborn. As the world continues to shift into brutal, disconnected images, she remains inarguably real, a fearless figure delving deeper into this blighted world, unmindful of the terrors that await her. Was she this way before? When we Chozo found her, a fledgling orphaned on a savaged planet, did a warrior's pulse already beat in her veins, filling her with righteous fury? Our hopes lie with her. We leave these messages for her that she may find our artifacts and deliver the world from its evils. Wraiths we may be, but our reach is still long indeed. We shall fight the invaders and the poison they would master until the end. So, basically, even though they aren't living anymore in the sense of the word, they can still help. The Chozo Elder statue is awaiting an offering. Let's give it one. This statue has many functions. In this first part, you use it to get to this bomb slot. Which opens up 3 more in a different part of the room. Now the puzzle of this room is mainly with these 3 bomb slots. This one, the field, they're all covered by an energy field. Basically, the red one is sensitive to heat. The white one is sensitive to cold, and the purple one is erratic, which means shoot it with electricity and it'll go away. Basically, just shoot it with a color matching beam and it will deactivate. And each of these bomb slots, once you can access them, gives you a different path to take if you put your morph ball into the hands of the statue. The purple one is the only one we can get now, and lo and behold, this is the one we need to use to go onward. And once you use the pathway, it resets and the bomb slots will reactivate. Generally. One thing you want to do once you get over here, scan this panel. It'll basically just turn off that force field, which is what was keeping us from just jumping up here already. So that makes that getting back this way a lot easier. So with that, we move on. Basically, this room, you've got some stone toads, and you've got some water. Drainage shutoff is holding. Basically, if you bomb the drain cover, the pool is going to drain. That's just logic. Now, if you get inhaled by a stone toad, you can bomb it to get out. But in some ways, that's the easiest way to get to this top level because there's stone toads here. That's clever, important, I suppose. Now, where you really want to go is, I believe, that door. So I'm going to jump around to get to that door. Pay you no heed. Yes. This room, very small, no other real purpose. Except to give us the ice beam. Yes. Now this beam, as it would sound, it fires blasts of ice. You can open white doors, freeze certain enemies, particularly Metroids. But as would make sense with ice, its drawback is that it is rather slow to fire compared to other beams. This is me mashing the button, and that's the fastest it'll fire. So, the ice beam gives us a few more exploration options. But we only have a few more places we can go at the moment. You can save here if you want to, but more importantly, if you go through this little tunnel, there's a door. Now both of these other entryways we could leave to would take us to an elevator that goes to part of the Talon overworld. So yes, we've basically reached the extent of the ruins. But this leaves us with branching pathways, and I always forget which way is the best way to go from here. Because in actuality, where we need to go next is not even in the Talon overworld at all, I don't believe. I think this way is generally the way I like to go first of the two, checking them out. Because it kind of gives us a preview. But we are not equipped yet to go to this part of to quite go to this beyond here. Now from here you can easily jump down. Also, if you freeze an enemy and then shatter them with a missile, it kills them instantly. That's a very helpful tactic to use. Although since the ice beam is so slow, sometimes it can be a challenge to hit the enemy. Yeah, but this is the frigate crash site. If you jump down here, you can enter it immediately now that you have the ice beam. But you're going to find out very quickly that you're not equipped to explore the ship yet. So the best idea is to come here, get the missile expansion, and turn back. And I'm pretty sure that's going to basically be the extent of our trip into the other side of the Talon overworld as well. Over here. Well, I say over here, but I mean back up into the Chozo ruins, over to the other elevator, and then back down. It can get kind of tedious if you're trying to explore everywhere in this game. Especially considering that I believe the next stop for us, technically, would now be to go back to Fendrana. Yeah, we're going to be going places. But for now, let's just explore a bit and use our new ice beam to the extent that we can. Yes. I don't know. So this is going to take us to a new part of the town overworld, actually. This place is a little weird at first. You can't get to this part of the room. You have to get to that from below. So that's important for later. But in this upper part of the room, there isn't really much we can do with our current equipment either. There is one thing we actually can do with our current equipment that we're not supposed to be able to do, but if you know what you're doing, you can do it. That was a very roundabout way of saying things. I'm debating whether or not I'm going to show that off. I'm considering it anyway, because it's kind of cool. Can't blow up this rock yet. So we are left with things to do. And I will show that other thing, because there would have been really no point coming here yet at all if we didn't do something. If you look carefully, something in the screen is not right. What is that rain falling on? Surely enough, there's an invisible platform where the rain lands on nothingness. And if you jump over to this ledge, which you can only reach from that invisible platform, you get a missile expansion. Technically, you're not even supposed to be able to see that platform until you have the last visor, but because it rains here, you can actually see that ahead of time if you know where to look. It's kind of a cool thing about the game, and admittedly something that wasn't exactly thoroughly planned out. Although to be fair, you can also see the invisible platforms if you hit them with a beam weapon. Or a missile, actually. To be fair, a missile would probably hit the solid platform the same as it would a solid wall. I'm just getting... I don't know. Like I said last episode, I'm feeling kind of run down. Not completely, totally, awkwardly, terribly so, but just enough to notice that there's something kind of dull about my life right now. And I was kind of hoping that recording would work to fix that. Kind of did, but by the second episode I recorded tonight, I kind of run out of things to say. That's the thing I kind of hate saying. Also, yes, once you take on that encounter here, there'll be more Chozo ghosts. Now, normally I would just run, because the doors aren't locked this time. But since we got a new beam, we have a new thing we can do in this room, and I'd like to take a look at that before we go. 3 Chozo ghosts can get a little hectic, especially when they're all firing at you from different parts of the room. But just keep firing at them. I'm seeing one or two of them taking curved paths when they flee, and I don't think I've seen that before. They usually go straight to where they're going. So maybe something's just going wrong with my game tonight. Just like something's going wrong with my life tonight. I don't know. Anyway, why'd I go into Morph Ball there? Once you fought them off. Let's open the white panel. And that'll turn that thing this way. Which will lead us to a totally different part of the room than in either of the other two launch paths will. So it in fact leads us under the room to a energy tank. An energy tank. I'm sorry. And popping back up out of there. However that physically managed to happen will reset the positions. So with that, there's a few more doors our ice beam can open here. This is basically just a literal passageway. There might be there's not even any lore to scan here. No items, no lore. This is literally one of the most pointless rooms in the game. Because you don't even ever have to enter it to get 100% unless you want to fill in your map. This one is also similarly pointless, but it has something going for it in that it's less in your way, but it's more direct route. And also you're starting to notice that in any vaguely large room in the ruins, the Chozo ghosts just starting to appear. They're going to be like that for the rest of the game now that we've entered the Hall of the Elders for the first time. Enjoy that. I know I do. I mean, there are a few rooms that they don't appear. But there are also quite a few where they will, where they hadn't before. So, be on your guard and get ready to flee whenever you see things getting dark. Now, there's a couple ways we could go from here. We could climb up to the top to get back to Magmore Caverns a little faster, because that's where we're going next. No surprise to anyone. Really. But that's not so easy to do whenever there's the things, the Chozo ghosts flying around. And that leaves us with the two ways to go. Again. What would probably be the fastest way would be to go back to the Talon Overworld, head to this part of Magmore Caverns, and take this lift to back up the Phendrana Drifts. Especially since... No, not what I meant to do. Especially since where we're going is back in this end of Phendrana Drifts anyway. But I kind of want to take another look through Phendrana Drifts, because there's a few things we can do. So I'm going to take the long way Sure.
Tell you what, since we've been basically going through places that we've done everything and said everything, done everything, I'm not going to promise I'm going to cut, because I've not actually usually done that when I say that. But I will probably just keep rambling and speed it up, maybe. But I will try and make my trip as quick as possible. If I really wanted to do that, I'd probably morph off, but then it would take a lot longer to open the doors. I don't know. I guess I'll just talk. I've been kind of Steam sale, kind of, not really, recently. Because it's June and Steam summer sale, and there are a few games that are really cheap that I've been looking to get, so I've got them, but I haven't played any of them. That's great, isn't it? But yeah, I bought a copy of Psychonauts for about $3 or so, which is not a bad price at all. I'm considering doing it blind as an LP, but I don't have any way of recording it from my computer screen. So that's something I'm going to have to look into. So, that's the thing. Ice Beam is an interesting weapon to use in 9 more caverns, because it's kind of the unspoken weakness of lots of things here, but it doesn't really physically affect the enemies as much as you'd expect it to with that. It can freeze the relatively slow Magmors, though. So that makes that easier. I will just hop across the lava again, because it's very easy to just hop across, take very minimal damage, and such. And get you around the buffers. Mostly. Yeah, this early part of 9 more caverns, there's really not a whole lot we can do. Because we've done it all, really. Not all of it, quite. There's things to do in this room, particularly, I know, that we haven't done yet. Because we can't do them yet. Oh, we can, but it'd be kind of tricky, too. Okay. Let's just keep going, for now. If I'm speeding this up, I'll probably slow it back down whenever we do something interesting. So I'll just keep talking like normal in the meantime, and whenever we do something interesting, my voice will suddenly start sounding normal. As if my voice ever sounds normal. Okay, this is basically as far as we're going to go in here, and we still haven't done anything. So, yeah, I'll probably just keep talking kind of fast and sped up like this until we can get through the John Drifts area. Honestly, there isn't even that much to do in the early parts of the John Drifts. I just want to go there because there are a couple things that we can do. They're rather small things, but I want to do them. There's even more things over in that part of the game that we can't do yet. That was almost terrifying. But here we are, we can ride the elevator up. But yeah, I bought Psychonauts, I mentioned. I bought Task Crashers for $1.50 because I watched the Runaway guys play it, and I thought it looked fun enough to justify paying $1.50 for a full game like that. Speaking of games I saw because of LPs, I remember watching Josh LP a game called Quantum Conundrum, so I bought that because it was about $2.50 or something for the entire content, everything in the game. So I bought that for $2.50, something like that. And I haven't played it because, okay, these things need to go. This area is not going well. Actually, let me just get rid of those things. I don't even mean to go into
this area. I mean to smash. Excuse me. That wall hanging is cordite. Scan that, and we have a passageway to enter. Missile expansion up here in this tower. I was trying to do something clever there, but it didn't work. Anyway. Where we go next is to... well... we're gonna go this way. Because now that we have the spider ball, there's something we can do here. It'll leave. Also, you're gonna see the adult she-goths around in these areas now that you're seeing the baby ones out in the opening area. Game loves just throwing stronger and stronger enemies that you have as you prove that you can deal with them. Anyway, if you go back here, there's a spider ball track that's kind of hard to see. But if you go in there, there's a little pipe here with a expansion. That's about it. Other than that, we're basically just gonna boogie. Yes, this is the room where those one-time scans were. And they are replaced by the sentry drones, so if you didn't scan the ice burrower, you're out of luck. Those things will be there as soon as you get the thermal visor. Those things will become much easier to deal with. And those, I would presume, later on. We could go back to Fendrana Canyon, but I'm pretty sure there's absolutely nothing there anymore. Now, where we want to go next is... well... for me, where I want to go next is to save. Because it's getting on time to finish this episode, to be perfectly honest about it. It's also getting on 2 in the morning, and I'm tired and worn out and playing like shit. So, I think, the thing is causing me to bounce by causing mild earthquakes, which throw off my jumping. Or, more accurately, cause me to throw myself off in my jumping. That's a little unnerving. But, okay, that was awkward. Okay, there's flying pirates in this room too. See, that's what I say. This game starts throwing stronger and stronger enemies at you once you progress in the game, even in rooms that you had been in lots of times before with very few enemies, or enemies that barely noticed your presence. Now, what's notable is that the spinner devices are inactive. I believe the bomb slot still is. Even though we have the ability to get up to the top of the room without using the bomb slot. So, yeah. You could theoretically just get that locked door scan whenever you need to, like this. But, as so happens, we are up here and able to save. So I'm going to call it that it for this episode. If you liked this episode, tell me. Respond, vibrate, feedback, and resonate in the comments below. Tell me what you think. You think I did right, wrong, whatever you feel like it. All that jazz. And next episode, we will continue through Fendrana Drifts and see what we can find now we have our ice beam. Until then, this has been Somnios Respiratory Flux. I will see you next time on Metroid Prime. Now it's prime time. Or that would have worked better as an intro. Damn it.